Hello, welcome to the We Recommend podcast. This is a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch, and then you can come back here and listen to me and Jason talk about it. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
And damn, does it feel good to be a gangster. We're talking about Office Space today.
That was perfect.
All right, so Jason, this is a recommendation from you. Why do you like Office Space?
I love this movie. I think solely for the theme of it all, that whenever you take that test in school where they ask you what do you want to be when you grow up, and he says, I don't know. I want to do nothing. And that was me. And that's how I connected with this. Because I'm a lazy son of a gun.
Yeah, so when I watched it before to do this podcast, I got bummed out. Like, I did not want to go to work. I hated everything about being at work. I mean, because we don't work in an office, and I never have, but, I worked in retail and I worked at a factory. But man, the things still hold true in those same exact type of jobs.
It's reciprocal.
Oh, it's Monday. Oh, you got bosses want you to work weekends, and just like the
it's everywhere.
Yeah,
even though it's not. Yeah, what we do.
It's just like the work
sucks.
I guess just the way that we've the little sayings that we've made to make work seem bearable, and it's just such a bummer.
But this guy, he goes out and he gets hypnotized and he does exactly everything that you want to do. And I'm sorry for hitting my microphone just now.
It's okay. But so this movie is directed by Mike Judge, the Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill.
Yes.
And he did this right after Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Which is also one of my favorite movies.
I haven't watched that in forever. I used to watch their TV show on MTV.
Now, Beavis and Butthead Do America was one of the movies me and my mother bonded on over,
really?
Which was weird.
It's such a good movie to bond over, though.
I know.
It's even me and Natalie, we're just every once in a while, cornholio TV for my bone call. Just for no reason. Just, anytime we say we're almost out of toilet paper, I was like, DB for my bone call.
See, I feel like I'm in prison with my marriage because I can't say things like that and get a laughter reaction.
Oh, really? Oh,
because my significant other hates Beavis and Butthead with every part of her being. I tried. Yeah.
I mean, I could understand. It's not for
everybody.
Some people are just going to be like, this isn't funny. This is childish. Or it's just why do you find this funny?
Mike Judge is just one of the greats.
Yeah, he really is. Because then after this, King of the Hill, Idiocracy. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's great.
I didn't know that was by Mike Judge.
I love you.
Honestly, oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I watched it earlier this year.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Gosh.
But yeah, this movie just, it killed me, man. It made me want to quit my job.
It does.
I didn't want to do it.
It makes you want to do something else. And I think that's the reason why we started this podcast in the first place.
Yeah. So we could get rich and famous and quit our jobs.
Yeah, because we already are, yo.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
So much money flowing in from this great podcast.
Hopefully we can get someone to listen to us after that first episode.
Yeah. Somebody.
Mainly will be our friends and family. And I kind of hope my family doesn't listen to it because I don't know. I cuss in it. They don't ever hear me cuss.
It's you. It's your raw self.
Yeah. Except whenever I do cuss on this, it's I don't really cuss in general. So it's going to be people are like, why are you cussing on this? It's I have to say the quotes.
What?
I have to say the quotes. All right. So I guess we should just get into the movie, right?
Let's get into it.
Do you want to get into it? Well, so it starts off. We're in traffic jam.
Oh, man.
Just classic traffic jam. It starts with Peter. Just seems like a regular old guy. He's played by Ron Livingston. He's just sitting in his car and he's in standstill traffic. but he sees like the next lane next to him. It's moving. So he moves over there and it stops.
How
and
many
then the
times
lane
has
he
this
was
happened
just
to you?
in. Dude, wow, like when I rewatched it this morning, I was like,
Yeah.
I know
It's close
the
to
feeling.
home. And where is this movie located? You think it's in probably in California, I'm thinking.
oh man, you know what? I didn't even look up where it might be. I was thinking, crap, I'm trying to think what type of trees look like. It's
I'm just thinking like the tech capital of the world,
that's
at
true.
the time. When was this made?
Funny enough, it
1999.
probably is California because Mike Judds made Silicon Valley. That's him. I don't know if you ever watched it. Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, he did Silicon Valley.
Jeez, I need to read more
I've never
books.
seen it. No, the show.
I know. I love the show. I've seen the first 4 seasons. I just
What?
I guess what I really meant to say is that I need to read more credits.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Just gotta go on IMDb, bro.
And not hit next episode as soon as the credits show up.
Yeah.
I guess.
Usually after I finish something, I just get straight onto IMDb and look everything up about it. So yeah, he's switching through lanes, and then we see it cuts to Michael Bolton, played by what's his name? David Herman. He's kind of one of those guys. You've seen him in probably a bunch of little parts in movies, but
No,
I
I've never
really
seen him.
Really? You never
anywhere
seen him?
else.
I know he's in a few comedy movies as side characters,
Maybe.
but he's just sitting there just rapping.
Oh,
I don't even remember
love
the
it.
song. And then as there's a black guy and he's selling flowers, and he starts walking up. He turns it down, stops, locks his car door.
Yeah, he's listening to Biggie.
Is that what it is?
I think yeah.
Okay. And then he's just quietly rapping, and the guy walks
He's
past him and he turns it back up and starts rapping even harder.
As a small white man, I'm sure Jesse has had this happen many times. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I've done this. I've been there. You kind of feel ashamed for cultural appropriation.
I feel mainly anytime I'm listening to anything music-wise, every time that someone's getting close, doesn't matter who they are, I always turn it down a little bit. I'm like, are they going to think I'm weird listening to this song?
Yeah.
I'm always more judgmental. I'm always like, is it weird that I like this song?
I know, but he fits this character perfectly, and I love it. It's such a good scene. And then they see the guy walking with the walker on the sidewalk, and he's walking up the street faster than they are in their cars.
Yeah.
And it's so
and then
good.
It cuts to Samir, who's played by, I don't actually know who this, I don't actually know who.
Nanajard.
And then he's just sitting in the car and starts screaming because it's not moving.
He doesn't even know how to curse exactly, fluently, I guess. He's pretty good, pretty fluent in the English language, but he doesn't exactly have the cursing down, and it's so
apparently
good.
that actor was in an actual, he's in a rap group.
No kidding.
Or he is into rap or whatever. I don't know. I remember hearing something about it. And then we cut to Milton just sitting waiting for the bus, just doing it.
doing his thing.
Doing his weird little.
Milton.
So then Peter. Oh, and then it cuts to we see a Porsche with the license plate Porsche on it.
Yep.
Pull into, which is Bill Lumberg's
Lombard.
car. Yeah,
Lumberg.
Yeah, it's Lumberg.
Lumberg.
So then Peter gets to his job, and then he goes in and he goes to the door, and he's really close to it, and he's like, "It's gonna shock me."
And
It's
you
gonna
know
shock,
it.
and he immediately shocks him.
And it's those things that terrify you at work every single day. Do you still have to do,
It's
even though
God
you
dang it.
don't want to?
Wish they just fix this door
And the guy's up there fixing the light
every day.
and all the time. And he's like, you're just like, man, fix this door while you're at it.
Yeah.
But he's not going to.
And then he's walking through the office space, and it's just nothing but cubicles. There's people walking around. You got what's the name of the?
They're just the cubicles. They're just the walls of the cubicles.
What's the name of their company?
Initech.
Initech. Yeah. And then he's going to his cubicle, and then you just hear, "Thanks for calling Initech. just a moment, please.
Yeah.
So
Corporate
it's-
accounts.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's just something he hears every single
Over
day,
and
and he
over.
hates it. And
Yeah.
you know it. Everybody knows. You know that one person that does that stuff.
Yeah. And then he's just sitting down. He goes to his desk, and then Bill Lumberg comes up, and it's the classic. I'm gonna need you to put a cover letter on the TPS reports. It's like, did you get the memo?
Yeah. I think this is probably one of those things where neither one of us have ever had an office job, and we might not understand, but
Yeah.
but you got it.
So annoying though. And then, but it's like he doesn't have to deal with it once. Another person comes up to him and he's like, yes, I understand about the cover letters. I made a mistake. I'll fix it. And they're like, do you need another memo? I'll get you another memo. And then as soon as that guy walks away, he gets a phone call. Yes.
Because he has 8 bosses.
Yeah, he's got
that
8
we will
bosses.
find out later.
And then he goes to talk to Milton, and Milton's sitting at his desk. He's listening to his radio. He's like, hey, Milton, could you just like turn that down, Milton? I've been told that I can listen to my radio because if Becky and Violin can do it, then I can do it. I got permission to do it.
Yeah, from 9 to 11.
Yeah, 9 to 11. So
I feel like I would be friends with Milton.
Maybe,
Whatever
I
that may entail.
And then what? We go to and then Samir is at the copier or the copier or the printer, the paper jam, and he hates it so much. He's just cussing it out. And then we meet Michael Bolton, and we figure out that his name is Michael Bolton.
Yes.
Because it's because this girl's going to give him like some pieces of paper or whatever.
Yeah, it's like she's got the mail or something.
Yeah, and trying to say Samir's like last name and can't say it. And then she's like, "Oh, here you go, Michael Bolton. Are y'all related?"
But you think you work with this person all the time? This has probably not been the first or maybe the 50th time this has happened.
It's just a funny thing. That's like, why would somebody named Michael Bolton be related to someone named Michael Bolton? That's like anytime I know going through high school in my life, it was me and then a guy named Kyle Baker because we have the last name. Everybody like, oh, y'all related? I was like,
yep.
No.
We
don't look anything alike.
Yep.
We just have the last name, guys.
Exactly.
It's not crazy to have the last name.
No, I did detention for a Justin Shockley. My name's Jason, which was clear.
You know what? Honestly, Jason, I've never heard anyone else have the last name Shockley. If I knew someone that had your last name, I'd be like, are you related to Jason Shockley?
The only other person with the last name in my school also had different color skin than me.
Oh, gotcha. She's a different race. You can just say that. Wow.
Cool guy.
But yeah, we find out Michael Bolton hates the singer Michael Bolton.
Yes. This is probably at the height of Michael Bolton's career when this movie was made.
And then Peter comes up and he's like, hey, can we get out of here? You want to go get a cup of coffee? I'm like, I feel like they've only been there like an hour. So it's like you're already taking your lunch or your break. And then like he's getting fed up. And then the girl that was handing out the papers like, looks like Peter has a case of the Mondays.
Oh,
it's like, strangle her.
Yes.
And then they go to the tchotchkes. And then that's where we learn that he has a crush on Joanna. Jennifer Aniston.
Yep.
Who's, I don't know if you noticed at that point, is getting, I guess, kind of chewed out by her boss.
Yes. And that is Mike Judge, right?
Is it? Oh, I don't know.
Isn't that Mike? I thought that was Mike Judge.
The boss is later, but in that scene, it could be Mike Judge.
Oh, maybe.
And they're kind of talking about like Peter is miserable at his job. He hates it. And they're like, do you guys really like, he's with Samir and Michael Bolton. And Peter's like, do you really want to work here for 50 years? And they're all like, that seems like a good job.
Yeah, Samir's like, I like that job security.
Job security, yeah. It's like, we should only be so lucky.
He's so practical.
Then we learn about that he's gonna have like his girlfriend Anne is having him to do like hypnosis.
Yeah, they're gonna go to hypnosis.
Yeah,
But they're all like, we feel like she's
cheating.
he says, I feel like she's cheating on me.
And like,
And they're all like, everybody says yes. They're
It's
like,
like-
yeah, we have
he's
that
like,
feeling
yeah, we
too.
got that feeling too.
So,
It's like, wait, what do you mean? Oh, nothing.
And then they don't talk about it. So you kind of get that feeling that everybody's sleeping with his girlfriend.
Exactly.
Or that
Or it's
oh,
just
man.
like, obviously she's cheating on you. 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
she's the one.
The way she acts around him. or
Yes, and she brings a dude to your psychotherapy appointment.
Yeah.
Isn't that what happened?
Well, it's like another couple, I think.
Oh, I thought it was just like another, like one of her friends.
No, there's like another dude and a girl there.
Oh, okay.
And then of course in the scene they bring up, so I heard you like messed up the TPS cover letter. It's like, didn't you get the memo? And Peter's is dead, like dead inside. But then we go and we see this guy like running up to him as they're walking back into the office,
Oh man.
and it's Tom, and he's like all like worried. He's like,
Tom.
oh no, man, I'm gonna get fired. I'm getting fired.
That's
like, what are you
usually-
talking about?
That's
It's like,
me
they're-
usually. Yeah.
They're hiring 2 consultants. They're gonna, I know it. They're gonna talk to me. They're gonna interview me, and they're gonna fire me.
He thinks everything's life or death with Tom.
Yeah, and he's like, you say that every day. And then like the conversation continues at their cubicles, and they're just kind of talking about. It's like they end up for whatever reason talking about like what would they do for with $1 million. And like, because I guess Tom knew a guy that had made a pet rock.
Oh yeah, he read about the pet rock guy.
Yeah, and he like made $1 million off of
He
it.
did make at least
And
$1
he's just
million.
You just have a pet rock, and it's just you made
He's
$1
like,
million off
Yeah,
that.
man. You got ideas. Is that when he first tells him about the jump to conclusions, Matt?
Oh yeah, he talks about jump to conclusions, and there's like
They
that's
shut him down
that's
so hard.
really bad idea. That's a terrible idea, man. And then Milton is trying to get something out of the printer, and it messes up and eats his paper. It says PC love letter. What does that even mean?
Poor Milton.
And then so after a long day of work, Peter comes home, goes to sit down, and then Lawrence starts yelling at him through the wall because you can just completely hear each other through the wall, apparently.
And I love Lawrence.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, turn it on channel 9.
Oh.
And it's like just a girl, and he's like, hey, can we at least act like we can't hear every single thing that happens between these walls? Just come over if you want to talk to me.
Yeah. It's
and they
it's that neighbor that you want, I guess.
Yeah, he's a really
supposed to.
chill guy. He's like
Yeah.
a very sincere and like, he's just like, he kind of seems like he's a caring friend to Peter the whole movie.
Yeah, like he knows what's good. He knows.
Yeah. And then he turns it on to like channel 9, and it's like a girl checking for for lumps or breast cancer.
For breast cancer. But like this guy, like you see him and you feel like, man, how can this guy have so much joy when Peter, he just feels so miserable.
Yeah, and it's the guy that's Drew Carey show. The guy that was in Drew Carey show.
Yeah.
What's his name? It's like Deirdre, something Deirdre. But he's also Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, he's been with
Yeah, so much
many.
stuff.
I love this guy. He's one of my favorite comedy actors.
When they changed the channel to the girl checking for lumps, he's like, looks a little bit like Anne. He's like, yeah, it does look like Anne. And he's like, I think she's cheating on me. He's like, yeah,
I know.
It's like, wait, what? And he's like, she just seems like someone that's cheating on you.
Yes. Oh no.
And then let's see and Lawrence is like, hey, do you want to go fishing Saturday? He's like, I can't. I know Bill's gonna ask me to come in Saturday. I know it. And this is where Lawrence gives him the idea. It's like, well, screw that, man. Just leave early Friday. Make sure you avoid them, and just turn off your crap. What is it called? It's not voicemail.
Answering machine.
Answering machine. Yeah, we don't have those anymore. But I do like so apparently Lawrence, the guy that plays him, just kind of came up with a lot of little things on his own. like Mike Judge just let him do whatever. Like having his own little bottle opener in his thing. That was just him
Heck
wanting to
yeah,
have
that's
it
the
himself.
working man's keychain.
Yeah, exactly. And he has this like really, and he has like this weird. He kind of like is really, he just seems, he is like a working man.
Yes.
Just even like the way he talks. I don't know.
The
He seems like someone
blue
I've met before. And then he asked him, it's like, so it's like, what would you do, Lawrence, with like $1 million?
Yes.
He's like, 2 chicks at the same time.
Yes.
It's like, what? Is that it? It's like, how would you know that they would want to do it with you just because you have $1 million? Like, well, girl that would do
the kind of chicks that would double up on a guy like me do.
Yeah.
They love that money.
They would do it for $1 million.
Yeah.
And then like he asked like, well, Peter, what would you do? He's like, nothing. I'd just chill, relax. And that is exactly what I would do.
Mm.
I'd just be like, I don't know, I want to watch movies, go out, do a couple of things, come home, watch more movies,
yeah.
just hang out.
In a time of your life where you're building you're like the building blocks of your adult life. This is where I built this. I guess this is where mine stopped. Where I was like, I like Peter's idea. I'm just gonna do nothing to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So then, then we cut to back at the office, and you got like the big banners. Is this good for the company? And you see one of the first Bob, which is what is it? John C. McGinley, who's from Scrubs, and he's like in Point Break, a bunch of Oliver Stone movies.
Yeah. And that classic mustache that he's been rocking for 30 years.
Yeah.
I love it.
And like Bob, he's like he's going to be one of the consultants that kind of interview people to see where they can. Well, Bill's like, oh, he's just here to see, like where we can do better with the company and stuff, even though he's there to just fire people.
Yeah.
Just so crappy.
Exactly what Tom was saying.
Yeah, exactly.
His fears are just so true.
And then we go to Milton, and I think, this is where Bill's like, yeah, so we're going to need you to move your desk. Milton's like, no, you already asked me to move my desk. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, he can't quite get the words out. He's just he's a simple guy. He's got and they're treating him like crap.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, I think he's like, yeah, move your desk. And there it is. And he like takes Milton's stapler.
Oh, man.
It's like,
because earlier Milton was having that conversation with Peter about the stapler.
Yeah,
like he
exactly.
called because that was the Friday that's the Friday he was going to leave early.
Yeah, yeah.
That Peter was going to leave. He's like talking to him about his stapler.
Yeah, stapler. That's right. I forgot to say that.
Peter, the good friend Peter is, he was just trying to humor.
Just like, yeah. I gotta go. But this is also where we first hear Milton say under his breath, "I'll burn this place." Which is funny in the movie,
classic Milton.
In like real life, it's like, how many times has this happened? And that's. Oh wait, no, I got this all wrong. No, this is where they have the conversation. This is where Milton's talking to Peter about it.
Yeah,
and then Peter's trying to sneak out. Yeah, but then he's like waiting for his files to load, and then Bill catches him. He's like, yeah, so I'm going to need you to come in Saturday, like 7 or 8 a.m.
Oh, man. And then Sunday?
Yeah, and then he walks away and he's like, oh, yeah. Actually, I'm also going to need you to come in Sunday. Oh, that's so worse.
God.
Oh, we know nothing about, having to work Saturdays or Sundays.
Yeah, we do. We do sometimes.
To do that.
And it sucks because they don't tell you until like Wednesday.
Yeah, which at least it's not Friday.
It's better
afternoon.
it's better than what Peter got.
Oh, God. It's terrible. Oh, and then so this is where we go to the it's very depressing at the very beginning because this is where they go to see the hypnosis. And the hypnosis is like, okay, so what do you want us to do? And he's like, I want you to, like, instead of me actually being at work, I want you to put it in my head to where, like, if I go to work, I'm actually like out fishing or something. So I never think about
Yes.
I'm actually being at work, which sounds like the show Severance.
This sounds amazing.
It's almost
by the way.
exactly like
I
Severance.
know. In Peter's case, I think like he
Yeah,
would
this
be
is the way to
much
do it.
better off.
Yeah.
But in Severance, all they do is
we don't know what they do in Severance. That's my main
Okay.
issue with the
Yeah.
first season. It's like, did you have not told me anything?
Okay.
But it's like he has one of like the saddest lines. He's like, every day I go to work is the worst day of my life because it's getting worse every day, and I just lose a little part of myself. So it's like,
I think Jesse's ad-libbing a little bit there, but
no, it's just like it's because every day gets worse after the next. So anytime I ask me what's the worst day of your life, I'll always say today. It's like,
he's like, yeah, that's sad, man. He's
yeah,
like,
that's rough.
That's messed up.
So the hypnotherapist starts, telling him to close his eyes, to be calm, and to listen to what he's saying.
And I think this is like one of the common misconceptions of hypnotism, especially back in the 90s. Like I don't even remember anyone being hypnotized at that time of my age. But like when I got to college in the early 2000s, I did. But like people thought hypnotism could just do magic.
Yeah, exactly.
And which was, entirely not true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never been hypnotized.
I was
Or seen
close
someone being
one time.
hypnotized.
But this girl next to me was like, oh my God, I think he's being hypnotized. And it brought me out of it. And I was so relaxed.
I'd like to be hypnotized, but I don't think I'd trust
Man.
anybody enough to be hypnotized.
You got to have a lot of trust.
I'd just be like, what are you going to make me do?
Yeah.
Cluck like a chicken.
I saw
every
this.
time I go to
I
work.
saw this one girl at a fair, like a county fair, do like a really racist interpretation of what a Chinese police officer would sound like. Although I think that was mostly on the part of the guy hypnotizing her. Must have been a giant racist.
Yeah.
Just to make her do that because she's.
I promise it's not me racist. The hypnotist is racist.
The racist hypnotist.
I was hypnotized. I'm not racist. But then
okay.
But while the hypnotherapist is trying to hypnotize Peter, he has a heart attack. And everybody jumps and is like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And he's like worried about him, and like we just see Peter just sitting there smiling.
Because he doesn't have the end.
Yeah.
He was counting
didn't.
down to finish to bring him out of hypnosis.
Yeah, so like for the rest of the movie,
He's
he's just
Yeah.
kind of like chill, and he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, whatever.
Just-
Nothing matters.
remains in that chill state. This is where
Yeah.
you want to be
And
all
so,
the
like,
time. Peter's
you
my
see
hero.
him like lay in bed while he's getting like phone call
Oh,
after phone call from Bill.
Yes. I love it. And his girlfriend's calling.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
Once he wakes up, his girlfriend calls. Yeah, and he's it's like, what if you? It's like it's 3 p.m. What are you doing? Weren't you supposed to be at work? He's like,
Like,
nah, I just
how
didn't
does
go.
how does she even know?
I'm assuming she does like, yeah, I got
Does
to
it
work all
work?
weekend.
Did he give them like his alternative phone number to where they were like, we think Peter might be dead?
I mean, it might be that, but I think like, yeah, that's probably what it is actually. And then he ends up hanging up on her, and she calls back, and it's like, you know what? No one hangs up on me. You can't treat me like this. Oh, by the way, I've been cheating on you.
Duh.
It's like, well, we all knew that.
Confirmation.
And then he
I
goes
said
to
that wrong.
the restaurant where Jennifer Aniston works and goes ask her out for lunch.
Mm.
Um,
And so smooth, this guy.
Yeah.
Peter, this new Peter.
He
I like
really
this new
is.
Peter. He's totally cool.
um,
I want to reflect that on
I know,
my
'cause,
own
like,
life.
when he goes to get lunch with her, it's like a day. It's like a Monday. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be at work.
He's like, I'm just another asshole customer. I can't ask her out on a date.
Yeah, exactly.
But then he
But
does.
also, it's kind of like intercutting between like their lunch and the consultants. And Tom talks to the consultants, and it's like, so what do you do here? And he's essentially just like he's a middleman between
He
like
says-
the programmers and
Yeah.
like customers.
I'm good with people. Don't you realize?
Yeah,
He
it's just
yells
like-
at him.
So they don't need you here at all. It's like, yeah, the programmers don't know how to talk to customers. it's like, but so you physically talk to the customers, then walk to them to give them like what the customers are saying. He's like,
No,
No,
his
I have my assistants
secretary,
do that.
yeah.
it's like, but sometimes I do. And it's just like, and then he freaks out, and it's like, well, there goes Tom. He's not gonna be here. And then Michael Bolton, it's his turn to do his interview. It turns out that
they just lie.
There's another consultant that was brought on, and so there's two Bobs. There's two Bobs. Bob's the consultants.
The Bobs.
Michael Bolton goes in. They're like, "Wait, your name's Michael Bolton? Are you related to Michael Bolton?" He's like, "No, you can just call me Mike." And they're like, "They seem very upset by that."
It's over then.
He's like,
just
"Come on,
lost
man.
his job.
What's your favorite Michael Bolton song?" And he's like, "It's hard to pick one." And they're just like,
Yeah.
Tom McGinley his character loves Michael Bolton.
they both love him, and he tries to lie. And
Yeah.
He tries to recover from his previous mistake,
Exactly.
which I've done in interviews
Yeah.
with.
But I think what makes it funny is that his character is supposed to be like tough and hard, listens to rap music. In his cubicle, he's got like a bunch of posters like of rappers. But then as soon as there's like a chance of conflict, he's like, oh, yeah, I love Michael Bolton.
Scared little man. He's like, I want my job.
And then Joanna and Pete, they're having their lunch. Just asking like, oh, so do you like your job? And he's like, It's like, I like the buttons you have on. He's like, oh, he starts off, he's like, we're not in Kansas anymore. And she's just like,
"Yeah,
she's
right."
laughing. She's like, yeah, we definitely are. And he's like, no, you're Flair. And she's like, oh. Yeah, I just kind of picked whatever.
She don't want
We
to
have
talk about her flair.
We have to have 16 things of Flair. And
She keeps getting gruff about it.
Yeah, she hates the
Not
Flair.
wearing enough flair.
And she doesn't, she's like talking, they go to a different restaurant. And she's like, ooh, I really like this restaurant, which is something like, I remember working at Home Depot just being like, anytime that I go to another store like Home Depot, I'd be like, oh man, this here, oh, I like that. And I'm like, I don't care about working here.
But
Why
she also had a little bit of that imposter syndrome. She's like, do you think it's okay for me to be here? Like, in her waitress garb.
It's like, what are they going to do? Kick you out because you're wearing a waitress uniform? Like, whatever. No one cares that much. No one cares. Because in the end, just like Peter, none of it matters. None of it matters.
Oh, the new Peter. Love it.
And then he's like, I think I'm going to quit. It's like, I don't think I'm going to go anymore.
I'm just not going to go. No, yeah, he's not going to quit. He's just not going to go.
I'm just not going to go to my job anymore. It's like, I don't like my job and I'm not going to go anymore.
Oh, man.
And it's like, so what do you want to do? It's like, well, what I want to do is I want to take you out to dinner and come back to my place and watch Kung Fu movies.
I'd go out with Peter at this point. This sounds like a good date.
It's such a weird thing because it's like, it's slowly, like music starts to like, kind of like Kung Fu music or whatever's playing it, and it like zooms in on her and she's like, you like Kung Fu movies? And it's like, what is this?
This is true love.
It's so weird and random. This is where Milton, and then it cuts to Milton being asked to move his desk.
Oh yeah, because he had the meeting with the Bobs too. Or no, but they didn't show it. He just showed the Bobs talking to.
That's a little later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Lumberg takes a stapler. And that's when we hear, okay, I'll set the building on fire as he's walking away.
That was the last thing Milton wanted.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted.
Peter comes in late and like Michael Bolton and Samir are like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you didn't show up all weekend. Like, you're late. Like, you got to talk to the consultant.
Yeah, you got a meeting with the Bobs in like a minute.
And he's like, I don't really care. He's like, okay, I'll go talk to him. He's like, no, don't go. Like, say you're sick or something. Like, make up a lie. And then I love
Not
this
new
next
Peter.
part.
He goes in, balls out with the new Bobs.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like, so what do you like working about here? It's like, working here. It's like, I don't really like working here that much, you know? It's like what's an average day for you? It's like, well, I show up 15 minutes late. It's like, I try to avoid Bill. I space out for about 15 minutes. Or no, he says I space out for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then when I go to lunch, I space out for another hour after that. And it's like, in all, I do about 15 minutes of real work all week.
And let's say his job is to change the numbers for the 1999 to 2000 switch.
Oh, yeah.
Which has got to be the most boring job
and pointless. Yeah. And then it's like the two Bobs are just like, what? Like, you're actually saying all this?
They can't believe it.
And he like says to him, it's like, I'm not lazy. I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no motivation for me here.
Yeah.
It's like, no matter how hard I work,
Exactly.
I don't see anything. It's like, if I work harder, I don't get paid more. The bosses get paid more.
Yeah.
Which is true at every
Which
job.
is true everywhere.
Every job.
God.
You never
You
care.
feel this when you watch this again as an adult.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, this hits so close to home.
Yeah.
And you get angry about it a little bit, but then they have a little bit of comic relief.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're like, so what if we give like stock options and stuff? And Peter's like, yeah, I guess that'd work. I don't know. I don't care. Well, I gotta go. And they're like, oh, yes, that's what we'll do. And it's just like, I don't know. The Bobs love them.
Yeah.
And then like Peter just walks straight out the consultant's interview. And then like Bill goes to talk to him. He just walks around Bill and just leaves the building for the day.
And I love this part because, now as an adult, you go to work and you see all these things happening and all the things that could be better. And you just wish that somebody would take the time to listen to you and that could actually do something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they do. And it's amazing. And that just makes me love this movie even more.
Yeah. Yep. And then we go to Joanna. She's getting like, her boss is like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? So I noticed that you have 15 badges of flair. It's like, yep, that's how many we're supposed to have. It's like, so is that really what you want to say about yourself here? Like, I only want the minimum of flair.
Yes.
And it's like, look at, they have like, she has this coworker who's this preppy, like, do-gooder. He's just so hyper and everything. It's just like, oh, he's the worst.
The ass kisser that you hate.
And she's just like,
perfect.
She's just like, okay, I guess I'll. It's like, all right, I hear you.
So
Whatever.
Morgan, he says, well, no, I can't. He can't tell you that because it's corporate that makes you wear 15 pieces of flair, but you need to do better by wearing more.
Yeah. The consultants are talking to Bill and some other guy, and this is where we find out that the consultants are firing Tom, and that we figure out that Milton has been a glitch in the system the whole time. He got laid off 5 years ago, but because of a glitch in the system, he still gets paychecks, even though he still works there. And they're like, well, we fixed the glitch. And he's like, oh, so he's fired? He's like, no, he just won't be getting a paycheck. He can still work here. Just we don't want to, what is it they say?
It'll work itself out.
Yeah, it's like, they don't want to. They want to avoid confrontation. It's better to avoid confrontation.
Yeah,
so
that's Bill Lumberg's job.
Yeah, exactly.
And even he doesn't want to take responsibility for it.
And then they talk about they want to promote Peter, and Bill's like, I don't know. He's been a little sketchy lately. He's been flaky. He hasn't been coming to work.
He's had a problem with his TPS reports.
Yeah, and then he's just saying like, oh, well, we don't think you've challenged him enough. And then and then they're like, also, so what do you do around here, Bill? Is mainly your job talking about TPS
Yeah,
reports?
he's like, how much time do you spend with these TPS
and then he's
reports?
Like,
well... He's like, well, I don't want to answer that because I don't.
And then this is where, damn, it feels good to be a gangster
Yes.
comes on.
Oh,
which
man.
is iconic.
Just a rush of adrenaline.
Yeah,
I get it when I see this part of the movie.
Yeah, and he comes in. It's like a montage of him coming in, taking the repairman's drill and just like
takes
taking
care of
off
that
the
doorknob.
He takes Bill's parking, so Bill ends up parking in the handicap zone. And then he gets towed, and it rips off his Porsche tag.
The tow man.
And
the tow.
The next thing is the most insane. I'm watching it with Natalie when he brings the fish in, and he starts just like gutting the fish. I was like, I was on Peter's side here, but I was like, if I worked in this building, I was like, dude, I'm just trying to get my job done here. Can you please not do a fish in this place? And then he knocks down the cubicle.
Oh, he's got a great view.
Yeah.
After that,
Bill comes in, wants to talk to him about TPS reports. And then he just like, I'm just not going to do it. And then walks off. And Bill's like, oh, we'll clean up your cubicle.
He's like, I got a meeting with the Bobs. And I just can't, I can't deal with you right now.
Yeah. And then I guess Bill goes and takes out his aggression on Milton.
Yes.
It's like, and Milton's like, I didn't get my paycheck. But then
And
Bill's like, oh, just take that up with,
Is that after they moved him to the basement?
well, that's part of this. And he's
Oh.
like, I'm going to actually need you to
Yes. Okay.
move your desk to the basement. Yeah. And then he says something, I can't remember what he says, but he says another one. It's like, I'll burn this place
This is
to
how
the ground.
serial killers are made.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be nice to people. And then Peter goes and has his consultant, another interview with the consultants, and he learns that Samir and Michael are going to get fired. But it starts, it's like, so how's working going? It's like, I forgot what he says.
I
It's
can't
like,
say I've been loving it, Bob.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
right?
they all laugh. Exactly.
Or something like that. But that's when
there's-
he's like, you're going to fire Samir and Michael and give me more money.
Yeah, but at first they're like, Samir, Naja gonna work here anymore.
Oh my
So
God.
mean.
Is that like towing the line a little bit of like racism?
I know it's just
Maybe just a
white
little
people,
bit.
just
Just
racism
dumb
in
white
the
people.
workplace. Just
Or-
don't know how to say name,
I
especially
guess
at the
so.
time.
Like, just like that. I don't know.
I mean,
But
it's
yeah.
because whenever we first hear that like people can't say his name, he's like, I don't understand why people can't say my name.
It's a
not
hard
that-
name to say,
And
honestly.
he is like, it's so easy, and he just says it, and I'm like, man, I don't know. Like,
Nain, even after practicing,
Yeah,
it's
it's
hard.
just like,
Nain,
I would probably, I just wouldn't say his last name, like Samir, right?
Yes,
That
just
you?
Samir.
Yeah, just be chill.
My boy.
Or just ask him, he's like, hey, how do you say your last name so I can get good at it? You know, it doesn't have to be that hard.
There you go.
And then we find out that so they're gonna fire them on Friday because it's less controversial and there's less
It's easy,
issues. with
easier to
people.
fire people on
They're not-
Fridays.
I guess they won't come back and
Yeah.
shoot everybody up. I don't know. But then we find out Pete's gonna get more money and he's gonna have 4 people under him now. So he's like, you're gonna fire them, but give me more money? And they're like, yep.
Yeah, but when they and this is something that kind of hurts me a little bit is like, especially with the layoffs at like TikTok or not TikTok. Sorry, TikTok's amazing. Twitter. They're all these tech companies are laying people off like crazy. And I had recently had a conversation with someone in management who was in management over these tech guys and just treated them like usable assets. I don't know what assets that they could just get rid of without a second thought. And like that's the kind of field that I'm trying to get into right now. I'm just
yeah.
like, maybe.
Well, I do feel like because even when they're having the conversation, the consultants, they're talking about, oh, we're just going to get some people right out of college.
Yeah, basic. They said it was basic operating procedure.
Yeah, and they're just going to get people that aren't even probably going to be at the building. They're just going to export the work or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they're going to hire in some new college grads.
But
I
you
think.
hear this a lot with like game developers, even with the new management at HBO. Like they're just firing a ton of people.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, these are people, you
They're
know?
people.
They're good workers. We're just firing them just so you can find cheaper people to do it, right?
Yeah,
It's so annoying.
it's
It just
annoying.
makes me so mad. So then Peter's like, hey, Michael Bolton, let's go hang out. And I guess we forgot to talk earlier in the movie. They talk about a virus that can
Oh yeah,
like steal money from
like Superman 2.
Yeah, Superman 3.
3.
And so he's like just hanging out with Michael Bolton. He's trying to convince him. It's like, the job's not that great. And Michael Bolton, no, I like my job. It's fine. It's like, I like staying there. They kind of talk about the virus a little bit. It's like, how does that work? And apparently it's just like you're shaving pennies off of every dollar they make.
Yes.
And like they don't worry about that money.
Yeah.
So that they're just going to like shave it off into a special account that Peter's going to make.
Yeah. But did he pose the question to his friends, what would you do with $1 million?
Yeah.
And one of them said, and Samir, of course, is like, does the practical thing. He's like, I put half in investments and a half in securities. And like,
Yeah.
shut up,
like, really smart
shut up,
things.
Samir. Just answer the question, right?
And then he tells Michael Bolton that they're going to fire him. And then it just cuts to them at a bar, and he's just like, you just hear him say, cock gobblers.
And they're drinking Heineken.
It's like, I don't ever want to work for those fudge packers again. And then they convince, so he's trying to convince MB, or Michael Bolton, to use the virus. And they're trying to recruit Samir. And Samir's like, but isn't this illegal? And he's like, illegal? This is America.
Yes.
And he's like, well, we'll go to prison. It's like, yeah, white collar prison. You can have conjugal visits. It would just be like a vacation. And then Samir is like, okay, I'm in. And then we hear Lawrence next door. It's like, I won't tell. And there's like, we got to make sure we don't tell anybody, family, loved ones, or anything. Lawrence like, I won't tell anyone else, Peter.
Don't worry about him. He's cool.
He's cool. He really is. Coolest guy in the whole movie.
He's been listening the whole time.
Yeah. The walls are so thin, he can hear everything. And then, so then it cuts to another montage of them uploading the virus, and you got Ice Cube, I think, is playing. Like, what is it called? Down for Whatever. And then you just have them like being cool, like uploading the virus.
You're like,
And
that
then
was easy.
At the end, it's like, oh, that was easy.
It was really easy.
Yeah, really
Nobody
easy.
was even watching this or anything. No security here.
And then the iconic Drew comes up.
That's
Love this guy. He's so funny. Then Drew tells him about Tom and how he tried to kill himself.
Oh my god!
So he kills himself in the
No,
garage,
Tom.
trying to. And then his wife comes in and like he just sees her and just like loves her so much he decides, I'm
So
not gonna kill
sweet.
myself.
So sweet.
He backs out and gets hit by a drunk driver.
Slammed him.
God, it's so
Best thing
sad.
that ever happened to Tom.
But then we
Apparently.
figure out that he's getting a settlement for 7 figures, so he's gonna make his million.
And he's gonna make his jump to
Jump to
conclusions, man.
conclusions. And
Oh
then
yeah.
I don't remember why he starts talking about this, but then Drew's like, I think it's at the party. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get laid. This girl's gonna see my O face.
Yeah.
Oh.
Drew is horrible.
And then
I work with like 30 Drews. So.
yeah, I know, for real.
Well, actually, I haven't worked in like a quarter of a
Yeah,
year,
bro,
so
you
I
know.
guess it's like
Yeah, lucky.
they're still gonna be that way though when I get back, right?
Yep.
Like,
And then we get the probably the most iconic scene from this whole movie, where they're like, man, they didn't even give us anything as like a present for going away. We'll just leave. It's like, I got you something. And it's the copier that's been screwing them over since they
yeah,
worked there.
son.
And they are just beating the crap out of it.
I love it.
It's so funny.
They get emotional. Michael gets emotional.
Yeah.
With it.
It's like Samir is just like pushing people away with a bat just 'cause and it looks so cool and starts hitting it. And then Michael just starts getting down and like
He
punching
throws
it
the
with his
bat
hand.
away. He starts taking his fist to him, letting out all of his pain. I love it. It's very
so good.
therapeutic.
And then he's like, as they're walking back to the car, he's carrying cords from inside of it. So
He
good.
can't let go of it.
And then Samir's talking about he's worried about how everything's. It's like, we're gonna get caught, man. We're gonna get caught. I'm like, no, it's okay, it's okay. And then we cut to Peter and Joanna. They're going to Tom's party. He tells the whole plan. It's like, oh, so you're stealing? It's like, no, it's not
Yeah.
stealing. We're just taking fractions of a penny. It's like, so you're not going to be doing anything, and you're going to be taking money from them. It's like, yeah, but they're not needing it. But it's going to be your money, and you're going to end up making a lot of money, right? It's like, yeah, that's stealing.
So how's that not stealing? Yeah, and then he gives like the penny and the tray analogy, like
Yeah.
at the gas station. And how many after seeing this movie? I mean, I guess like whenever you go to the gas station, you see that penny in the tray, and you think about this movie.
And no one ever actually, I've never seen anyone take the pennies out of the tray. You know?
I've done
It's
it.
weird.
And
Oh, yeah?
I felt bad about it because I'm like,
But I love
I think it's
Jennifer.
because of this movie.
Jennifer Aniston's character is like, you're taking monies from the what is it? Orphanage children? It's like, no, not that one. She's so funny. It's like, I wish she was in the movie a little bit more and she had a little bit more to do. I think that's probably one of the failings in the movie. I'm like, she's so funny.
She
Jennifer Aniston
is.
is so perfect in this
Yeah.
movie. It's like, I just need a little more. And then he's talking about, it's like, I just don't want to work there anymore. And it's like, this is a way out. And it's like, well, I don't want to work either, but I'm not going to like go and take money out of the register. It's like, I
Right.
hate my flair and everything. And then
Yeah.
Peter's like, Nazis have pieces of flair. She's like, what? That is such a, I remember during the pandemic, someone was telling me like, I feel like anytime people have issues with things, they always bring it back to Nazis. It's so weird. Like during the pandemic when it's like, oh, they're going to make people wear their vaccine card. It's like, man, we're going to be like Jewish people. And
just like that.
it's like in
It's going to be
concentration
exactly
camps.
the
I'm like,
same.
I don't, it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not that
Trust
bad.
me. If anything, it'd be more if you don't have the vaccine card on you, you would be more like that. But it's like, it's nowhere near the same. It's just so people know if you're vaccinated.
Yeah.
But then we go
that's
to the
horrible.
barbecue. Tom is like in a wheelchair. He's completely casted up. He's got braces all over him.
And I
But
love that
he's happy.
I love that he's welcoming people at the door. Like even at the rare occasion that we have parties at my house, I'm not at the door welcoming
Yeah,
people.
never.
They're just like they walk in and you're
And
like,
you're
oh hey,
there.
thanks for
Yeah.
showing up.
But I love that he has his lawyer who's making him all this
Yeah.
money next to it. Like everybody that comes in, hey, this is my lawyer. He's the
Yeah.
reason I'm getting all this money.
My best bud.
And then we see the jump to conclusions. And he's like, Peter, I know
you
you're
did
not
it.
happy, but look at me. Good things can happen.
Good thing you can get hit by a truck.
And he just looks awful. But he also says, it's like, I was just like you. Like I hated my job. I didn't like going. I wasn't as whiny as you are.
He was the whiniest. Oh my
That's
gosh.
so funny. And then we learned Samir and Michael Bolton are talking to the lawyer outside, and they learn about what actual prison that they'd
yes.
end up being going to.
That is
It's like, I got some advice to you. Beat up the first person you see.
or become someone's bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
The first day.
And then Drew is up to Peter. Hey, oh, look, it's Joanna. Man, you better wear a rubber. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, she gets around.
Lumberg fucked her.
His world falls apart when he
Yes.
finds that out.
Oh, world comes crashing down.
He's just, like, they're just having a normal conversation. Joanna's just like, I don't think you should do it. Like, yeah, well, I don't think you should have slept with Lumberg. She's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? It's like, that was like 5 years ago. It's like, he represents all that is unholy and wrong about this. It is so messed up. It's like, look, I mean, I could see having an issue if she's actually slept with Bill Lumberg, but it's like, dude, you just got to get over it, man. That was a long time ago.
It's Jennifer Aniston.
I understand. Even probably me, if I found out something, I'd be like, oh, my wife slept with my dad before she knew me. I'd be like,
That's
I shouldn't. That's actually probably too of an extreme example because that would actually probably be like something I'd be like, nah,
Yeah.
just forget it.
Little
Sorry.
awkward now.
I wouldn't be as douchey as he is kind of right
Yeah,
now. But it's just like, we can't do
Yeah, this can't happen anymore.
But like, if I found out that, I don't know, Natalie slept with a boss of mine, I'd just be like, whatever. Let's just never talk about it and don't ever tell anybody so I don't have to hear about it at work.
he ruined it. Like he had her in. Like she was.
Yeah,
it seemed like she was okay with the whole him being a
Yeah,
thief.
she's like, just don't do it. And I'm sure he's like, well, we're just going to do it. She'd be like, well, okay, just
but-
don't say I knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And then we have the
women
The
are
sec-
right.
the sex dream where he's imagining, where he's seeing like a mix between Drew doing like the O face and Lumberg drinking his coffee and it's like, yeah, move a little to the left.
And he's
Yeah.
and he's shirtless, right?
Yeah.
He's
like, Peter, I'm going to need you to come in this Saturday. It's like, yeah, just like that. It's so funny.
God.
And then we cut to the boss talking to Joanna again about the flare. And she just like lays it into him, quits, like starts flicking everybody off. If you want me to be like him, then just get another one of him.
I love like when she's going out to her car and the other guy is out there and he's like gives the fingers just like she did.
Yeah.
Smiles real big like a shit-eating
See you guys
grin.
later. You got a case of Mondays. And then we have Peter checks the account.
Super rich.
Yeah, it's
No.
like $300,000
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
bank account,
back
which is
then.
not what was supposed to be in it.
Right.
Apparently, Michael Bolton, he always misses a mundane detail. He accidentally put the decimal point in the wrong area. It's like, this is not a good time to have a mundane detail messed up. So they got to figure out how to close the account. And then we cut to it's Bill's birthday.
Well, we missed the part. I love the part about when they were explaining this to the guy selling magazines.
That's a little later.
Was it later?
Yeah,
I thought
'cause
it was when they were
they-
like talking about it in the beginning.
No, they got a few things happen before that.
Oh.
Because they got to figure out how to money launder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. First,
Okay.
like it's
Sorry.
Bill's B-Day, and they're like talking about the birthday.
That's what they're passing the cake
Yeah,
around.
and Milton doesn't get one.
They've got 1,000 people in this
I know.
company, and they're
And it's
one
like one
piece of
tiny
cake
cake, but
short.
everybody gets one besides Milton.
But they didn't even pass it to him. They
I
just
know. It's like the
stopped.
very last piece. She just takes it. No joke. If that would happen every time I'd be at a birthday cake, I'd just be like, "Oh, hey, lady that didn't want to get one,
Just slap it out of her
I'd
plate.
take it and just eat it. Just be like, y'all gonna fire me? Y'all don't seem to like to fire people."
Yeah, and I also think this is the straw that kind of broke Milton's back
Yeah,
a little bit.
it's just one more thing to put on his shoulders. And so this is where they talk about laundering the money. It's like,
Okay.
it's like we need like a drug dealer or like a drug addict. It's like,
It's just a black guy selling magazines.
exactly.
And they're just...
Yeah, a guy comes up and it's like, "Hi."
Oh, because he says he was addicted. His mom was addicted to crack.
Well, it's like he comes up and it's like, "Hi, I'm a former drug addict, and to keep myself from doing drugs, I'm selling magazines, and
Yes.
this would really help me if y'all would buy some magazines." They're like, "I used to be on drugs." And like,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, you're right.
And they pull him in, they explain his whole plan. He's like, "Come on, man, can you help me out?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm not addicted to drugs. Like, I was never a coke addict."
He comes clean.
Yeah, it's like, this just helps me sell magazines. They're like, "Oh, crap."
But now
do
he
you think
knows
he's gonna
everything about their
yeah,
plan.
do you think he's going to say anything? It's like, you won't say anything, will you? Well, if you buy some magazines, I
40
won't say-
inscriptions the vibe.
Yeah. And the next part is when we find out the last thing that breaks his psyche. Milton is told, like, "Hey," Bill comes down. It's like, "Hey, we're having a cockroach problem down here. Do you mind if you could kill some cockroaches?" And Milton is like, I still haven't received my paycheck." It's like, just talk to somebody else about that. And then then like an accountant comes down. It's like, "We have a big problem. Accountants found that there's a bunch of money missing in our accounts."
Is that also when Bill wrestles the stapler from him? Or is
No,
that before?
that already happened.
That already happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
he just kind of takes it from me. Doesn't he? Or
But,
he
like,
just kind of, yeah.
he's like,
And then as Bill's walking away, Milton is like, "This is the last straw."
It's like, yes.
And then Peter learns that Bill wasn't the Lindbergh that Joanna slept with. This is some other guy.
The millionaire.
Yeah. And then they're kind of talking about, it's like, "Man, I don't understand why the mafia can be Neanderthal mafia can be so good at laundering money, but we can't do this at all." And then I think Samir says, "Man, they're gonna pound me in prison."
It's about me in the ass prison.
Yeah,
No, not a white collar dream like they were expecting.
exactly. And then they're all mad at Peter, and he's like, "Hey, Lawrence, you want to come over?" And he's like, "I don't want you fucking up my life either, Peter." It's like, I feel so bad.
That's a real low point for Peter.
And then,
You gotta be.
yeah, it's like, Lawrence, your best friend, essentially won't even come over. And then he has a court dream, and it's like, "We're sending you to the pound me in my ass prison." But then, like, Peter's gonna decide that he's gonna give the money back and take all the blame. He decides to make good with Joanna. Tells her that, like, it's like, it wasn't the right Lundberg, and he's like, "I may hate my job." It's like, yeah, it's like, I may not like my job, but if I'm with you, I could like my life. And I was like, that's
really
such a sweet thing. And you know what? You just got to find the things outside of the job you don't like that makes your life better. It's like, just don't put too much, pressure on yourself.
That's right. But then that's when he makes the traveler's checks and puts them under the door.
Yeah. And then he's like, no.
He tries to get him back.
Yeah. And then we cut to Milton talking to, like, the secretary of Lundberg. And then he just, as she, like, walks away, he just, like, breaks into the office looking around.
He just walks in like the door wasn't locked.
Yeah,
Peter could have just opened the door. No.
That's the funny part. But when he opens the door, we see that the check and all the letters are still under there.
And then the building's on fire.
Oh, well, first,
Wait, okay.
we cut to Peter. He's, like, packing up, and he's, like, going to go, like, to work and be like, "Yeah, so I did it." But, like, he comes out, he says bye to Lawrence. Lawrence has such a genuine reaction, but he says it in the funniest way. It's like, "Hey, Peter, watch your cornhole, bud." He's talking about going to prison.
Yes. He also gave him the iconic fucking A, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but I'm sure that happened sooner, but I just
Yeah,
loved it.
they say it like a few times. He says it a few times, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then he pulls up to Intech, and it's on fire. And you see Milton kind of like stumbling around, like, what's happening? But
he's walking out of the crowd.
Yeah.
Towards the
And like you
lot.
see Peter, he notices it. Like you can see that he notices that he's walking away.
Well, like when you said Initech, it reminded me when they were talking to the magazine salesman.
Mhm.
He used to work at Initrobe.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love. I don't know. I just love the.
This is like really the same exact
You're
names.
so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then it cuts to like Peter is cleaning up like the burnt building.
Yes.
And he's like, he seems happy and
he seems happy,
satisfied with his job. He's working with Lawrence.
He's not making $1 million.
Yeah.
But he's in the sunshine.
He found something. He finds the stapler and he's like, ooh, let me keep that. Lawrence is like, I don't think that's gonna be any good, man. He's like, I know somebody that would love this.
Cut to Milton on the beach.
Samir and Michael Bolton kind of show up first, and apparently they got new jobs at like Intro.
Oh, the Initrobe.
Yeah, it's the same place that like one guy worked at.
Same place.
So like, we can get you a job. He's like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
We cut to Milton, and he's at a beach resort, and he's complaining about his drink because they brought him the wrong drink every time.
They don't care.
And he's not listened to at all. He's like, I could have this place condemned. I can make one phone call.
Strychnine in the guacamole.
It's so funny.
Like just a poor Milton.
I know.
No, anywhere he goes, he can't catch a break, but he makes people pay for it.
You know what? It's like, don't complain, dude. All mixed drinks are delicious. Just drink your drink and just enjoy the beach, Milton. You gotta know when to take the win. You gotta take the win.
Yeah, I feel like Milton just sees the negative in everything. But at the same time, he really got a bad break.
This movie is just iconic.
I know, I love it so much.
And it's funny. I feel like throughout the movie, Peter is like slowly losing his hypnosis. Like
he does,
slowly like falling off.
Coming out of it.
But he's such a character that's like, it's like when he finds something, he's gonna put himself wholeheartedly in it.
Yeah.
It's like at first it's this it's Joanna, and then it's this virus, and then when that doesn't work out, he's like, well, I'm just gonna work outside, and he just hops into doing that. It's like, this is the best thing I've ever done. It's so funny.
Yeah, you gotta love the such great characters in this movie.
And apparently this started off as like a little thing that Mike Judge, like he just wrote like a Milton character thing, and he like did the voices and everything for it. So it's just like something he used to animate on his own. I think even before Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I've never seen a Milton.
Yeah, I have it. It's like it literally just looks like it's something like he handwritten on pieces of paper and he put it on video format.
Man, I really wish that this movie, that there could be like maybe not even a sequel, maybe it's just like a newer version of this.
Yeah, I guess that's probably what I've never seen Silicon Valley. I guess it's probably is kind of like spiritual sequel.
Yeah.
Maybe I might actually put that on tonight.
It's such a good show.
Once we finish Fresh Prince.
But you got anyway.
Got any more thoughts about the movie?
Like, thoughts about the movie?
What's your favorite scene?
I love the music, especially the gangster music.
Yeah, I know. It's such a good contrast between like the setting and like what they're doing and
it was the ghetto cowboy. Was it ghetto cowboy or was it feels so good to be a gangster? Feels good. It feels so good to be a gangster when he was coming in.
Yeah, and like taking out the doorknobs and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
That moment is my favorite.
When that happens, it's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably is my favorite part too. That and the, I don't know, I guess it's overall, it's just all the characters. I mean, like Peter's probably my favorite just because he's more relatable. And like, I like Ron Livingston. I can't think of anything else he's been in, but when he does pop up, I'm like, I like that guy. That guy's cool.
Always.
Yeah, and Lawrence. He's probably my second favorite character of the whole thing. I just love that actor. He's so good.
He is really good.
He always does that same kind of voice, but he like just seems like an actual guy. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that anything else you got to say about the movie?
I don't know. You want to do shout outs?
Our intro and outro song was done by Joey Prosser. You can follow him on Twitter at Mr. Joey Prosser. Very talented dude. And thanks for the song. So thanks for listening. I'm Jesse.
I'm Jason.
And keep listening to us. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever you got to do. We're going to try to be on every network. So we'll get that figured out. And join us next week for probably one of my favorite 2022 movies, Barbarian. And if you haven't seen it, get ready.
Get on
it's
that nip.
A bomb. Or the bomb, not a bomb. So stupid.
It's a different podcast.
All right, but thanks for listening.
Yeah.
I was just going to say bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, thanks, guys. See you next time.